So, I'm about to retire from 20 years of service in the Navy. Active duty, enlisted, and I retire in about 2 months is my actual retirement date. The way it works when you retire, if you have leave saved up, you can take what's called terminal leave, which I will be doing. So my last few days at actual work are few. I had my retirement ceremony this past Friday. People came out. I cried while giving my speech. And it's something I'm going to miss. That night, excuse me, that night I had a get-together at my house. And a little backstory on this. Every morning at quarters, I kind of do a, current events, what's in the news, type thing with my division. It's become kind of a joke. I'm very animated. People call me a cartoon character. I'm very adamant about things. I said in my speech that I know I'm right. I will tell you I'm right. And I will let you know that you're wrong. It's just how I am. So, that night at the get-together at my house, had a few friends over, and one of them asked me, he said, why are you so overboard on how you react and act and your stances on a lot of the issues you talk about? Why do you put so much into it? Why does it seem like you're overcompensating? Were his exact words. And it took me aback. It took me, I had to sit there and think. Because, yeah, it's obvious that I take this seriously. And I take it much more seriously than anybody I personally know. And I'm very adamant about it. Much more than any other person I know. So I had to sit and I thought about it before I gave an answer. And the answer I gave was that somebody has to. I know that sounds stupid. But let me give some reasons why. And I never write notes for these videos. There's never a format to any of these videos that I do. I don't read from a script. I will have web pages up to cite my sources that I normally link. But I have to be adamant. I have to overcompensate. Because the normal person, the normal everyday Joe, just doesn't give a shit. They don't. They don't give a shit about Michael Brown. They don't give a shit about Eric Garner. They don't give a shit about Tamir Rice. They don't give a fuck about LeVar Jones or Pete Vasquez. They don't. Been a lot of commands in the last 20 years of my service. I've served with a lot of people from all different walks of life. And it amazes me. It really does. It amazes me how many people are racist. And on top of that, it amazes me how many people are racist and truly don't think they are. I'm smiling at the absurdity of it. And I'll see it. I'll see it on my Facebook. I'll hear him talking in P-ways. You know, Michael Brown. Well, he shouldn't have stole the fucking cigars. Should have listened to that fucking cop. He got what he deserved. Eric Garner. He should have just fucking let him arrest him. He was fucking selling cigarettes. Tamir Rice. Shouldn't have been fucking sitting around with a fucking toy gun and playing with it on a playground. At first, I didn't know how to react or how to cope with that. You know, I thought that I could get through to them. You know, get through. Let them know the error of their ways. You can't. I'm letting you know that right now, in case you have aspirations of helping people see the truth when they're that close-minded to it. It's next to impossible. So the best that I can do is to just try and talk about these things and at least get the conversation started. Because if I can do that, maybe people will start to think for themselves. You know, it was a big deal. It's going to sound silly to anybody else, but Pete Vasquez, sorry. If you haven't seen the video or heard about him yet, 76-year-old man. I believe he works at the dealership. He was driving a car that had dealer plates on it, dealer tags. Well, the car didn't have an inspection sticker. So Nathaniel Robinson lights him up, goes to pull him over. Well, the guy was really near the dealership that I guess he works at, and he pulled into the dealership, pulled right up into the dealership. Remember, this guy's 76 years old. Gets out of the car, you know, right there, normally that's where somebody gets shot and killed, right? No, not in this instance. And you can't really hear what's going on in the dash cam footage because the fucking cop is blasting music. So it's difficult to hear, but you can totally see Pete point at the license plate, the dealer tag, and point at the dealership, and he's telling him, I don't need an inspection sticker. Well, that pretty much turns into Nathaniel Robinson, the cop, grabbing his wrist, twisting it around his back to arrest him. I mean, instantly. The guy ends up getting knocked to the ground, and the cop tasers his ass. And there's two other gentlemen you can see. One of them actually walks up, starts yelling at the cop. Cop tells him, get the fuck back. It's absurd. So I posted that on my Facebook with the statement of, well, yeah, if you just listen to the cop and just do what the cop says, nothing's going to happen, right? Right? And one of the people I've been arguing with for about a year now on different events that have happened in the media, not in the media, but the media's reported on, different tragedies. He actually posted up, that cop needs to get his ass beat. So, maybe you can get through to some people. Maybe it is worthwhile. And now that I'm retiring from the Navy, I can actually do more than just these stupid rant videos. You know, wearing my uniform has been a blessing and a curse. A curse because I can't participate, I can't actively voice my opinion on certain things because I swore an oath, because I'm going to uphold certain values. I have to follow those rules and regulations. The blessing is that I know what it means to wear a uniform. I know the deadly force triangle. I know escalation of force. I know what these things are. I've worn a gun and stood a watch for the last 20 years. So I know that when I wear that uniform, and even when I don't, I'm held to a higher standard. I understand that when I'm standing that watch and I have that gun, my life isn't mine. I could die at any moment. And I'm willing to do that if it means saving somebody else's life or stopping something horrible from happening. We live in a society today where police are taught, you're going to go home today, no matter what the cost. Your job isn't to protect and serve. Your job is to enforce and make it home safe. And it's disgusting to me. It's absurd. Expect to see more videos and hopefully more participation in the future, because I'll be able to. You know, when a man gets pulled over by a cop and exits the vehicle, because he didn't even know he was being pulled over. He's pulling into a gas station. He was getting out of his truck. And then the cop pulls up right behind him as he's stepping out of the truck. And as soon as the cop exits his vehicle, he asks the man, I need to see your license. So what does the guy do? Turns around to reach back into his truck to get his fucking license. And the cop fucking shoots him. All on dash cam. LeVar Jones shot by Sean Grubert. Well, at least LeVar lived. At least. We can't all make changes. We can't all be on TV. We can't all form rallies and get people together to want to make a difference. We can't all do that. But what we can do is just strike up a conversation. Just talk about it. Keep it in people's minds. I'm the last guy that I would think in the group of people that I hang out with, both on the ship and in my personal life, that I would be the one to make these videos, to be this adamant, this impassioned about letting people know the truth. I figured I'd be the last one. But over the last few years, and this last year especially, I just can't take it anymore. Change needs to happen. And you can fucking help make it happen. Rant over.